Hi there, Linda from Let's Talk Prepping, and I'm at BBC News, and it's bbc.com. Warning, food prices to rise quickly over the summer. Now, granted, this is about the UK, but what happens overseas is coming here. It's just everything in the world is so interconnected now. You can just bet whatever's happening over there is going to happen over here. Food prices will rise quickly this summer due to the soaring costs, grocery analysts have predicted. Prices will rise at a rate of 15% as households pay more for bread, meat, dairy, fruit, and vegetables. The IGD provides analysis to the major groceries now in the UK and said the UK was facing the highest cost of living pressures since the 1970s. And we know the grain prices are up, and products that use grain directly, such as bread, and animals that are fed on grain, such as chicken, will rise quickly in price this summer. And I buy a rotisserie chicken every so often, and I found it went up $2 just in 2 weeks. Chickens will grow quickly, so it would only take weeks for animal feed price rises to be felt by the consumers. The squeeze on fuel and energy will also push food prices higher. Fertilizer prices have tripled since last year. And this was interesting, I hadn't heard this before. A lot of foil and wood pulp normally come from Russia, and the war has driven up packaging prices of those materials. Plastic packing, which is made from oil, is also more expensive. And the Ukrainian roads and ports and warehouses have been heavily damaged because of the war, and the exports will be reduced for years to come. So we're not talking just this summer, just this year. We're talking for years to come. And it's going to put pressure on supplies of sunflower oil and wheat. And then if we look over here, again, BBC News, why chicken is getting more and more expensive. Chicken is the UK's meat of choice for the dinner table, but consumers might have noticed the numbers ticking up on their receipts. The cost of chicken feed, energy, and transport increasing. Fast food chains have already put up some prices, and the boss of co-op supermarkets has warned poultry could become as expensive as beef. And again, if this is happening over at the UK, it's going to show up here, you can bet. It says we follow the production process step by step to see where the costs are mounting for poultry farmers and processors. Poultry makes up 50% of the meat eaten in the UK, and 1 billion birds are reared in the country every year. And the price of chickens has gone up 14% in a year. So the broiler chickens raised specifically for meat arrive at the farm at 1 day old. The price for the chicks have gone up by 5 pence over the last year, though, with the cost now topping 40 pence per bird. Hatcheries have come under pressure as costs for feed, electricity, and heating for the incubation period have gone up, and they're passed on to the farms. And then chicken feed has gone up 50% over 2 years. Some of the sheds that house the chickens have LPG gas containers for heating, and prices now top 40 pence per liter, up from 15 pence 2 years ago. The farm uses borehole water, but the cost of chemicals used to sanitize the water has increased by 30%. And they go through 200 tons of wood shavings for the chicks' bedding every year. The cost of buying that in bulk has jumped about 40% in 12 months. All these little things we never think about. I mean, I would have never thought of wood shavings, but if you were raising chickens, I guess you know that. And aside from the wood shavings to scratch, the cost of feed, which makes up a large portion of the poultry farmer's budget, is soaring. Different types of feed ingredients are used depending on the chicken's stage in the life cycle. And the feed is often made of wheat or soya, which has seen prices spike due to the failed harvests last summer and the conflict in Ukraine. And now transport. So So transport has gone up. They're transported in trucks and crates, and of course the cost of fuel has gone up. Diesel prices have gone up. More difficult to find a truck driver. Wages have soared, annual salaries offered by some haulage firms reaching £80,000. The reality is that when you have a shortage, people can name their prices. Processing then has gone up. Processing plants, most chickens are now killed using gas, usually carbon dioxide, and that's a byproduct from fertilizer production. Gas prices were already going up last year, forcing the big fertilizer factories in the UK to suspend production. Although the UK produces about half of its own fertilizer, costs have been driven up more because of the conflict. Two Sisters, one of the UK's biggest chicken suppliers, told the BBC it has seen the cost of carbon dioxide nearly quadruple, and then card for packaging up 20%. So after they're killed and defeathered and cleaned and packaged, the cost of card packaging has also gone up by 20%. Producers are spending more on labor in the plants due to an increase in the minimum wage, and they're offering higher salaries to attract workers. And then the retailers, eventually the packaged chicken will be sold to the clients like butchers, corner shop chains, manufacturers, or supermarkets. But input costs before this point have rocketed. Prices from the farm gate that have already risen almost 50% in a year. The company, which has 600 farms and 16 factories across the UK, it warned the days of lower prices are coming to an end. We're doing all we can to produce quality chicken and egg products, but there's a huge amount of farmers who won't be able to restock the sheds. So I thought that was very interesting to see how the chicken goes from starting with a little baby chick all the way up through the retail. And we have egg shortage. Farmers warn as chicken feed price doubles. So they're saying there's going to be also an egg shortage because of the double in chicken price, no margin whatsoever. And for those of you who are saying, well, that's the UK, it won't happen here, but if we go over here to whatpoultry.com, U.S. egg industry experiencing carton shortage. So they're saying there's a shortage of cartons to put the eggs in. And of course, we had a fire at a Minnesota farm that could add to the egg shortage in the U.S. And this was in May. There was a commercial egg farm in Minnesota that left thousands of chickens dead. The egg farm fire comes at a time when some areas have been witnessing an egg shortage. What caused the fire at Forsman Farms? Was it accidental or intentional? So we have this happening in the U.S. We have the warning from the BBC that food prices are going to rise quickly over the summer and stay basically for years to come. So I want you to get ready to start preparing to take all of this into account when you're trying to decide what to do. And if you're one of those people who hasn't been preparing, you're probably not watching this. But if you are, please start prepping now. Thanks for watching. Comment and please subscribe.